Time of the Battle of Britain. McGregor's airplane, one of the heroes, Canadian heroes of the Battle of Britain, commemorated on the top. On the bottom of the jet, it's all modern jet fighter. Captain Beaulieu will give us a full demonstration of its capabilities a little later this afternoon as they prepare the jet for its demonstration. Please wave to the crew of the Twin Otter as they taxi by. Landing in front of you now from Yellowknife. The airplane will taxi back over to the hangars. A great jumping platform for the Skyhawks today in serving the north of this great nation. Short takeoff and landing capabilities, proudly Canadian built and designed to Havilland Canada's Twin Otter. With its Tundra tires, the larger tires, backing up now with a change of pitch and prop with those Pratt & Whitney Canada turboprop engines. Skyhawks making their way in amongst you now. Again, please don't step on their parachutes, but they're more than happy to talk to you about what they do. Skydiving, and watch them repack the parachutes before they get ready to move on to their next show. Again, get your hands in the air. Our crew on board the airplane cannot hear your applause, but they can see your appreciation. So I'll ask that you give them a big wave down there in the Twin Otter for a job well done. And their commander is out in front of you right now. That is Major Steve Thompson in the green uniform right now making his way towards Show Center. So he can hear your applause, and we thank him for his service. Another former snowbird, I might add. Call sign Elroy, and those of you who got a chance to see him there can see how he got his name. Into the sky, here is Brent Handy, ladies and gentlemen, in the Pit Special. Because he's going to be flying high-performance aerobatics, he's going to go shake the airplane out. That means he's going to leave the area, turn it upside down, get it right side up. Push and pull some positive and negative G's and make sure that the airplane is behaving exactly as it should before he commits to these aggressive aerobatics. So off he goes to shake the airplane out, and Ross Granley and his dad, Bud Granley, left and right now, take up positions respectively on runway 17 and runway 35. And I know you're thinking, well, wait a minute, Rick, they're on the same runway. That's how it's designated. The hands of a compass. The prevailing winds, 360 degrees. So taking up position at 350 degrees to the left is Bud Granley. And 170 degrees to the right on runway 17 is Ross Granley, father and son. And the opposing takeoff in the dissimilar Yak 55 and Yak 17 or Yak 18T. So, ladies and gentlemen, they are doing their final run-ups right now. So let's watch as they get ready to approach one another with just 98 feet of runway width. Donna Flynn, our air boss, has cleared them for takeoff. Ross is rolling from the right first. And here comes Dad from the left now, the Yak 55, both with these Russian-built 9-cylinder engines. Ross retracts the landing gear, stays really low, and here comes his dad now as they approach you right in the middle. Up and over they go, and up into the sky as they are about to now demonstrate for you some formation and opposing aerobatics. Now watch Bud Granley here in the red Yak 55 tumble the airplane end over end. This is purpose-built for aerobatics. The Russians built these airplanes to win world championships. Large control surfaces give him lots of control to roll the airplane, climb the airplane with all that extra power, to to convert all of that speed and energy into the aerobatics you're about to see. Back on the control stick, and then around it goes Bud again, flipping the airplane end over end. Inverted now, upside down, and for moments negative G's as he rolls the airplane faster and faster. And right over top of son Ross, who now enters the stage from the right in the Yak 18T. Both of them climbing and crossing over again as they join. And we will listen in now as they fly formation aerobatics, and Ross takes the lead in the formation. He will communicate to his father, telling him over we go, and every move he's about to make, so that his father, while looking at his son's wing, stays right with him. And now they're going to fly around each other. Watch now as Ross pulls up, and Dad's on the bottom. Dad rolls to the top, Ross rolls underneath. Round and round they go, both rolling over and under each other. Ladies and gentlemen, that is extremely difficult to do. And now regrouping and repositioning again to the right of the aerobatic box out in front of us here, where they manage that energy from right to left and from the bottom all the way up to the top. Bud has been flying for a long time, as has Ross, by the way. Flying's been a part of Bud's life since he was 9. He and his brothers playing, saw a tiger moth, and there's one over in the static display area, fly to a landing on their uncle's farm out here in Western Canada. They ran to see the plane. They were amazed to find that their dad was the pilot, secretly earning his flying license. Bud and his 2 brothers were hooked on aviation after that, and their father made a career of flying and saw his 3 children begin their lives in aviation. So up and over they go now with his son, Ross, leading this formation. And making the calls. Staying inverted and pushing some negative G's. Son Ross now flies underneath and they can see each other just fine right now. But his father now flying negative G's, rolling the formation, and again incredibly difficult to do, and yet they make it look so easy. Ross family, coming from this large family of pilots that include grandparents, uncles, parents, cousins, brothers, and sister Deb, and his wife Sherry, born in Red Deer, Alberta, Canada, 1963. A Royal Canadian Air Force brat, I guess is the term, where his father was instructing on the Harvard T6, his terminology. As his father now breaks away, I want you to consider this. I was just talking about Ross. His father here doing the incredibly difficult ratchet roll, 2 rolls forward, 1 roll back, all the way around, and that Yak 55 above us is 77 years of age. Now Ross, his son, diving in and building up the airspeed in the Yak 17 and the Yak 18T. Listen to these same engines, And now the power that he has in this four-seater aircraft, almost twice the weight of his father's airplane, can still snap that airplane around on the top of a loop. It's incredibly aerobatic, designed by the Russians as a trainer and used by Aeroflot to train their air pilots. The third of 6 children, Ross showed an early love of flying and a strong desire to make it his life's ambition. Ross joined the Canadian Air Force in 1985, received his wings in 87, then instructed in the Tudor aircraft in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. The aircraft still used by the Snowbirds, by the way. He earned his A2 instructor's rating and selected to fly as number 2 with the Snowbirds in 1990 and 91. After his tour of duty with the Snowbirds, he moved to fighters in Calgary Alberta. He underwent basic and advanced fighter pilot training in the CF-5 and CF-18. He earned top honors in both courses, then flew the CF-18 with 416 Tactical Fighter Squadron for 3 years. His father now rejoining his son as Bud rolls up into the sky in the purpose-built aerobatic Yak-55. Climbs all the way to the top of the aerobatic box and continues to fight the fight and roll backwards in the torque roll before he flips the airplane over to start flying again and recover with lots of space between him and the ground. Now, Bud is a legend in the air show industry. He flies warbirds like the Messerschmitt, the Spitfire, the Corsair. Basically, if it has wings on it, Bud has probably spent a few hours flying it. He has a Fugamaga-Stair jet, the T6 Harvard that he likes to fly, and of course loves the Yak-55 and all its aerobatic capabilities. He joined the Royal Canadian Air Force in 1956 after earning his wings with the Royal Canadian Air Cadet Scholarship. He was awarded honor scrolls at basic and advanced flying schools, flying the T6 and the T-33. He served 3 years flying the F-86 Sabre in Baden-Baden, Germany. Was a member of the Canadian gunnery team, which won the NATO competition for the 3rd straight year. Now, in formation, nice and tight, to make some beautiful pictures for you, which we hope you'll share on the Facebook page for the Air Show. We look forward to your comments. Bud and Ross Granley now rolling their formation right out here in front of you again. Such a beautiful setting here with the Rockies in the background. His father now right up to the top of the aerobatic box, just floating down as Ross turns in for some more solo aerobatics. Both of these gentlemen now living in the United States, flying for airlines. Bud is retired, but that's what took them into the States. So watch Ross now as he rolls inverted. He's got a good look at you. Give him a wave as he pushes some negative G now, which means the blood is rushing up to his head, and he's probably visiting breakfast and lunch all over again. The fluids start heading north, and he does the outside snap roll on the top of that 45-degree climb. Right when you think the airplane, if you're running out of energy, he has just enough left to do that. Well, in comes his father to pull a high G turnaround. As you can see, that airplane can turn around in very little space. He's pulling 7, 8, as much as 9 Gs right now to keep it in tight and right in front of you. And then it rolls right out of it and keeps rolling the airplane as he comes up and out of that high G turnaround into those rolling aerobatics. 77 years of age. Ross low and from the right now. In the Yak-18T, which he purchased in Moscow and flies in these formation aerobatic routines with his father. And I'll let you just listen to these big radial engines built in Russia. 9 cylinders give them all sorts of power. And again, both aircraft flying pretty much with the same engines. One purpose-built for aerobatics, the other as a trainer. Setting up now with a signature maneuver dedicated to the Goldilocks, the old Royal Canadian Air Force Harvard team, way before the Golden Hawks and the Snowbirds and Golden 7Ns, where they flew what was called a dissimilar crazy formation, if you will. But first, of course, as they pull in tight in front of you here, wing to wing, then up they go, roll the airplanes together, and while they're inverted, make it look a little bit crazy and wacky, just like the Goldilocks did. The crazy pass, ladies and gentlemen, a great photo opportunity. (1997) with 3,100 hours military flight time, Ross, his wife Sherry, and son Gregory transitioned to life as civilians. They moved to Everett, Washington, where Ross lives while working as a pilot with United Airlines based out of San Francisco. His dad, retired now, lives in Bellevue, Washington. And if you're heading off to Oshkosh next week, or you plan to visit a few more air shows down the line, don't be surprised to hear Bud's name attached to some of the famous warbirds, as they often hire Bud to fly their classic and priceless Corsairs, Messerschmitts, P-51s, you name the airplane. If it's still flying for World War II, Bud knows how to fly it. He is a great and respected pilot, legendary in the airshow industry, award winner, Bud Granley and Ross Granley, his son, former Snowbird, and their Yak 18T and Yak 55 airplanes. And as they set up to recover, Denny Beaulieu is starting the engines on the CFAT. Very shortly, Brent Handy will be in with us in the aerobatic box above. But let's listen now as the CFAT crew start them up. And by the way, they're just at the beginning of this. You haven't heard anything yet. And when Ross and Bud taxi by, I'll ask that you give them a huge wave. Now, look at Dad landing. Bud's got that tail dragger airplane, the Yak 18T. Ross's airplane is a nose wheel. He's going to try and keep that wheel up as much as he can, but cramming in, side slipping in the Yak 55 is Bud, so he can see over the nose from side to side. And then he'll touch that airplane down, and then he's got to look from side to side to taxi. Because that airplane, that's a lot of airplane to look over the nose of as the tail is down. But look at this. Perfect landing. Bud Granley, and that's a handful. These aerobatic airplanes are designed to fly aerobatics on the ground. They land fast, tiny little wheelbases. They are a handful, and he's got it well under control. He's got the canopy back, and popping the door open is Ross Granley, because it's hot in these airplanes, and they're looking for a little bit of air. Now the first engine is just starting up on the CFAT. So ladies and gentlemen, I'll ask that you give them a big wave as they go by. They won't be able to hear your applause, but they'll be able to see your appreciation. Please give it up. Give it a huge wave. Ross Granley in the lead plane, Bud Granley in the Yak 55, the red airplane. Now, well above us, I hear the distinctive sound of that high-powered, aerobatic, purpose-built Pit Special airplane. In a few moments, the pilot on board, another former Snowbird pilot, Brent Handy, will let us know he's ready. He'll turn his smoke system on. He's been shaking the airplane out, getting used to the conditions, and he is going to enter the arena in an unflying way. So, ladies and gentlemen, here he comes now. Waiting for the smoke is on as he pulls up first to disconnect. So he begins by falling, not flying. So over he goes now, and the airplane just stalled, and that means it's falling. It ain't flying right now. It is, well, it looks pretty. It's spinning, it is inverted, it is upside down. The inverted flat spin is very difficult to recover from. He's given himself lots of space, but he needs space to be able to now get the nose down and get the airspeed back up. He's still not flying. He's got to connect again and get the wings to get lift. Still falling. Now he's flying out of it. And that's how he likes to get things started. Now he'll convert that energy from coming down from way up there. The airspeed builds on the pit special. And Brent Handy enters the aerobatic box from the right with the airspeed building up to entertain you now. From out west here, now living in Saskatchewan, former snowbird Brent Handy. Disconnecting and flipping that airplane over again, and again he starts to fly now. After falling for a wee bit, is Brent Handy. Passion for aviation began at a very young age, growing up in the small town of Welldale, Ontario. He was captivated by watching the small aircraft on approach into the Calgary Airport, a few miles north of his home. Well, one of the legends in the airshow industry from Western Canada, Bill Carter, was the first aerobatic pilot to offer this young man a ride. And guess what? A pit special. All these years later now, Brent Handy is flying it as he flips that airplane around a couple of times in what's called the avalanche. In other words, knowing precisely how much energy he needs at the top of that, where you're running out of energy to be able to complete those maneuvers. It is managing energy from one side to the other, from the bottom of the top of these aerobatic boxes that competition at aerobatics is all about. So once again now, after repositioning, he starts to meticulously and precisely move that airplane around. As he pulls back on the control stick now, he loads the positive G's on his body and the airplane. And up, as the airplane runs out of energy, he has just enough say to snap the airplane around one more time for the snap maneuver on top of the loop. This time as he heads up to the center of the aerobatic box, he's going to get it everything he can get out of it. That's the very top. But he's not giving up on the flying aspect. As he disconnects, he keeps control of the airplane in the torque roll, using the torque of the engine, falling backwards, gets the airplane repositioned, reconnected, flying again, and comes out of it precisely in the middle and ends up where he started from, the same altitude, heading to the opposite end of the aerobatic box. The Royal Canadian Air Cadets provided the opportunity of a lifetime for Brent. Hard work in exchange for a free pilot training. 1994, he earned his glider pilot's license, finished as the top overall student for the Ontario region. In 1995, he earned his private pilot's license, also through the cadet program, and continued to pay his way through college by working part-time as a glider pilot instructor and tow plane pilot. Air Cadets is Canada's largest youth program. You don't have to go into the military through Air Cadets. You can take Air Cadets, and that's just fine, and then move on, knowing that you're better suited now to fit into the community over their community training, teamwork, and of course, perhaps with a pilot license, as Brent had. We encourage you to talk to all our pilots about the Air Cadet program. It's a great way to start your career in aviation. While serving as a pilot in the Canadian Forces, Brent had the opportunity to follow all of his childhood dreams. flying as a CF-18 fighter pilot, as well as lead solo for the Canadian Forces Snowbirds in 2012-2013.
Difficult to do. The input is very slight on the control stick, and what's really difficult about it is it's not just about putting the control stick to one side and letting the airplane roll slowly. He's got to maintain his altitude. As he introduces that drag, the airplane starts to lose its altitude. So he has to do the inputs too to make sure that he stays at the same altitude all the way across the show line. So again, making the difficult look easy, the slow roll. Flying the quintessential air show airplane, the Pit Special. Brent sharing his passion for aviation, following his dreams, as up to the top he goes and he builds that airspeed up again. The Pit Special S2B, rated for 6 Gs. The ultimate fun machine, tight turning capability, weighing only 1,200 pounds. Powered by a 260 horsepower Lycoming 540 cubic inch engine. Snapping the airplane around now with a 45-degree line down as he builds up energy and airspeed. Now he rolls left and turns right and maintains his altitude. Rolling left, turning right, and maintaining altitude. He's dancing on all the controls. And ladies, you don't think men can multitask? Brent is qualified on dozens of types of aircraft, from paragliders to frontline CF-18 Hornets. 3,600 hours of high-performance flight time. And again, entering the aerobatic box now, building the airspeed up, the energy he needs for more aerobatics. And if you got your smartphone out, you check him out on Twitter, at BrentHandy77. He was live streaming yesterday, and he may just be live streaming again today, right from the cockpit. He has his smartphone set up and well secured in the cockpit, looking right at him so you get his point of view in the airplane today. At BrentHandy77 on Twitter with his live stream from the cockpit. We're sharing all sorts of video from on board a lot of our performers this weekend on the Facebook page, Wings Over Springbank Air Show on Facebook. Here's the photo shot of the day as he sets up now to make it look real pretty. Camera's ready. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, Brent Handy. As Brent sets up to land, Denny Beaulieu is getting ready to take off. So ladies and